So let's try and understand the implications of what happens if we don't follow these principles. Why must we follow these principles? So if you think about what happens if we don't get the full value of the mineral, we effectively have a loss in the value of our inheritance. It's a reduction in our wealth. Now that reduction in our wealth can also be looked at as typically goes to the mining company. They show extraordinary profits. What it means in simple terms is that we are selling our family gold cheap, and the mining companies are making extraordinary profits. Now if you look at it from the point of view of the people as owners, since we own it in common, this is nothing but an equal per head tax on every single person. We all lose equally. On the other side, when you have mining companies getting minerals cheaper than normal, they have it changes their incentives. They immediately it gets into a process of rent seeking where they want to get more and more of this mineral at lower and lower prices, and they could easily corrupt the system because this is unfair money that they're getting. In turn, so that increases and creates a lot of corruption and nefarious deals. Finally, when the deal for the minerals is struck, what happens is that the mining company correctly understands that if the public realizes that it's an unfair deal, they will stop the mining. So the mining companies are incentivized to go in, take the minerals out and disappear as quickly as they can, which means in effect that anybody living there will get bulldozed out. Forget the environment or any other such concerns. Let's get the money in and run. So you can imagine what, in totality, this is causing corruption as well as environment damage, human rights damage. But there are deeper things. If you're taking an equal amount of money from everybody and making a few miners rich, this is basically a big cause of inequality. A lot of the people who the money is being taken from are dirt poor, and we're just making them poorer and poorer. How will they ever get out of poverty if we are actually taking their wealth away from them? And this is, of course, in many ways anti-constitutional because it violates socialism, equality, common good, and a bunch of other things. Now let's look at the possibility of, suppose we do mine and the money is given to the state government to spend on infrastructure and other activities. This is also the equivalent of the state government imposing an equal tax on everybody whether you're a beggar on the street or Mukesh Ambani, everybody is paying the same amount from their wealth. So that's enormously unfair. But it also creates a couple of other dynamics. The modern liberal state with good governance has come about as a part of a social contract where in the West, kings had to fight wars and the nobles said, we'll pay taxes provided you give us good governance. The problem with minerals is that it bypasses the need for our politicians to come to the people and say we need to raise taxes, and the people in turn will pay you taxes if you give us good governance. Now what happens is instead the politicians can go directly and dip into our minerals without having to really consult us, and we can see the situation in places like Saudi Arabia and Venezuela, where the citizens have no voice because the rulers tell them, what do you care? You get a subsidy from the oil every year. You're not paying any tax. So please shut up and stay quiet. That is what happens when states and governments become more and more dependent on mining. And in totality, this creates persistent poverty, growing inequality, huge corruption, governance issues, environmental damage, human rights damage, livelihoods being taken away, and eventually people protest, and this leads to conflict, violence, civil war, and the whole gamut of the resource curse.